Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today, it's going to be an incredible match between NaDa and Effort here on Destination. Top side of the map, it is the blue Terran player NaDa, and in the bottom section of the map, it is the peachish Zerg player Effort. Now, this is from around 2009, according to the person who sent it to me. If you have replays of pro players you want me to cast, send it to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Professional Brood War, or Pro Brood War, or, I don't know, just get my attention somehow, okay? Okay. Which means, Effort at this time, in 2019, is one of the top Zergs in the entire world in the Brood War scene, but back then, 2009 was 10 years ago, you guys. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I sometimes cannot believe it. So I'm not entirely sure. Well, he's got 570 APM. I think he's pretty good. We will see. We will see and judge for ourselves. And NaDa is a fan favorite. I'm pretty sure you clicked on this because it says NaDa. And the NaDa versus Retcast that I did on Christmas 2018 has like 50,000 views, which is pretty darn high for my channel. It puts it in the maybe top 20 most viewed videos of all time on my channel. Anyway, NaDa went battlecruiser in that game against his Zerg opponent Ret. We'll see if he does it here against Effort. Effort is not doing anything crazy, man. He just droned up, went for that hatch first play at about 12 supply. Pachunk, there it goes. Pretty safe to do. What is this interesting thing that NaDa's doing? He's hiding a barracks. You're trying to make it so the drone comes up here and scouts and doesn't see the barracks and maybe freaks out there's a proxy of some kind. This is something that still happens in a StarCraft 2 today, usually against Protoss opponents, because proxies are pretty good against Protoss. And so what you'll do is you hide your barracks behind the mineral line inside your natural, just like this is happening right now. And then when the scout comes in, it doesn't see a barracks at home and just anticipates and expects there is a proxy somewhere when that's not the case. So it doesn't really give you an advantage other than it does mind game your opponent and it makes them prepare for something that's not actually coming. So that seems, I think that's what we're doing here from NaDa. So the fake out proxy barracks. Kakaru scouts it, but he's not telling the Zerg player where that barracks is. No, sir. Look at the drone. He's like, there's got to be something here. NaDa's way too good of a player to just have nothing here other than supply depots. And I guess there's a factory coming up, which the drone does not know exists because it just got started and the drone is not on that part of the map. So we'll see if the drone sees it or not. Let's look at his vision here, and he does. He does see the factory, so he knows there's a barracks somewhere. He's just not sure where it is. And I don't know, do you want to freak out about this? I'm not sure that you do, honestly, if you're Effort. I think he's okay. He gets the drone out alive. He sees the barracks float back inside the main. So well, that was weird. That was a weird attempt to make me overreact to something, but he didn't make a ton of lings. He didn't, you know, cut drones. He threw up a macro hatch, but I think he was planning on doing that anyway, so no big deal. And he didn't make any lings at all. Look at this. He's got a drone. He's got a couple overlords. He's just absolutely not worried about the scouting SCV, who sees everything that he's doing, by the way. You'd think you want to shut this down. He finally did make a pair of lings there in the production tab. But yeah, 2 base in it here for Effort. No big deal. And expanding, and now after the factory is NaDa. So NaDa making a Vulture. Vulture is pretty darn good against Zerglings, especially in the early stages when Lings don't quite have speed yet. They can have map control in that situation. We're tossing up, is that I was going to say, Creep Colony. Creep Colony here for a Sunken, just to deal with any Vultures that try to come into the natural base. Get some free hits off there. That's a very nice thing to do. SCV wants to keep scouting, man. He knows there's a Zergling trying to kill him, but he's like, you know what? Are you still on gas? You're not still on gas. That tells me. Wait, hold on. That was weird. Did he just put those back on gas for a second there? It didn't seem like there were any on there at all. Vulture swinging around the back way. There's nothing. You can't shoot through walls, man. What? Can you shoot through this? How interesting. I didn't even know this was a possibility. Do you need vision to do it? Is that what this is? And if you don't have the SCV up there, you don't have vision? No, that doesn't. Oh, yeah. Okay. So without the SCV, you don't have vision. Why? Oh, we could see that drone just for a little bit. Okay. So how it works is you can shoot through this with a ground unit that, you know, can't shoot over walls like siege tanks if you have a vision on the other side. Learned something new today about this map, and maybe you did too. Is that another factory? All right, so NaDa's just going straight mech here against Effort. No bio transition into mech, just straight mech. One Marine has been produced from that barracks, and now the barracks is just kind of helping to wall off the natural base. An armory is being produced because that's where you get your upgrades for your factory units, and a 2-base lair here out of Effort. He's got that two gas running here too with the Hydralisk den in the mix. Kind of feel like this is going to be a 2-base Muta play. Got a handful of Lings out. Spider Mines have been seeded in individual locations across the map here. Vulture's pretty much owning the map right now. Lings cannot move out necessarily. Just because, again, Metabolic Boost is not done. And, again, Spider Mines are pretty darn good against Zerglings. So there is the lair. And what is the follow-up going to be here for Effort? He needs some kind of attack. It is a Spire. And where is it? He's building it right here in the natural base. So it is going to be a 2-base Muta opening here out of Effort. We'll see what damage he can get done with this thing. Supply depots, factory. NaDa going for Goliath and Charon boosters to open up here against Effort. He knows to expect the 2-base Mutalisk attack. Third base coming up for Effort just along the left side there. It's a very wide open third. You cannot wall this off. It's very terrifying to have to defend, especially if you're Protoss, especially if you're Terran. But you just throw up some bunkers. Maybe you toss up a couple cannons if you're Protoss, and you can be generally okay against attacks coming your way. Still, just wide open. Charon Booster doesn't take that long to research, so I think we're going to have some Goliaths with range here at about the 7-minute mark, which is pretty darn impressive. +1 vehicle weapons coming in here, too, for the Terran player. And the Spire's not even done yet. So, I mean, at this point, I think he doesn't really need missile turrets, although he is starting them now. A little bit earlier than we've seen on previous maps, but the rush distance is a little bit shorter here, too. So, better safe than sorry. Your timing on those missile turrets. You do want them. You don't want to rely on the Goliaths forever. They're pretty good with it. But still, Goliaths plus missile turrets means you don't lose anything. I will be shocked if multiple SCVs die during this attack. It's just so well prepared for here from NaDa. 3 Goliaths at a time being produced out of these factories. He knows he doesn't really need tanks yet. Just these guys are here. Charon Boosters is done. The +1 attack's not going to help them much against the 9 Mutalisks that are on the way. So we've got a turret here at the natural base and a bunch of Goliaths. And then 2 turrets up here, 3 turrets up here in the main base, and no Goliaths. The Goliaths are kind of stationed to run back and forth between the 2 bases if they want to, which I can appreciate. Is that 2 more? How many are we going to have here? Okay, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we should have 10 total when all is said and done here. Single Zergling for a Spider Mine. That's totally fair. Marine does go down, but the Charon Booster hits really chase. I'm going to try say chase and scare at the same time. It didn't really work. I was like, chair them away. Chaired away the Mutalisks. Yes, I know. My brain only has 3 remaining cells. I do have 3 kids. I do have a full-time job. I'm doing my best out here. And I appreciate the love that I get from you guys in the comments. And I hope you're as excited for this one as I am, because it's going to be a doozy of a match for sure. Macro Hatch coming in. Speed upgrade for Hydralisks being produced. Look at, you can't even see the Hydralisks. They're off the screen and shooting at these Mutas. Wow. I have never seen this much Muta harass this shut down in a TVZ before. NaDa, you are a genius. You're an absolute genius with this opening. He saw the 2-base Muta, said, you know what's really good against that? Super duper range on Goliaths. And he was not wrong. Not even the tiniest bit. +1 vehicle weapons is just about to finish up here, which is beautiful. Vulture speeds being researched too. A lot of Hydras, which I honestly can agree with. 1 Muta dies without even really being in range to see the Goliath that shot him down, which, bit of a travesty. Yeah, honestly, Mass Hydra can deal with both the Vultures and the Goliaths pretty well. Look, 1 SCV died. 1 died. Doesn't count. It's not multiples. Remember, I promised no multiple SCVs would die, and I think this is so many SCVs, so many missile turrets. You are not coming back here. No, sir, not with your Mutalisks. And it's fair to make that many. There is a huge commitment to Mutalisks right now from Effort, and they haven't done enough. They've not done enough to really be worth all of the gas and the minerals that were paid there and the delay on the 3rd base. So economically, it doesn't make any sense at all, but Effort's going to try to do it. He's going to try to do it as best he can. He's working on attack Is that range? Yep, Hydralisk attack range, and this is just exactly what I'm talking about here. Vultures trade so poorly. Well, Spider Mine's getting 3 Hydralisks there. That's not bad. Vulture sneaking on into the main base, getting behind the mineral line where there is not a sunken. And several drones going down here too. Mutalisks. Goodbye, Vultures. But they knew they were going to die. They knew their utility was quickly coming to an end, as this is not going to be any kind of like a Ling play out of effort. Very, very so much looks like he is going for Flyer Carapace, like a Mutalisk Hydra thing. We'll see. We'll see if we go there. We'll watch that production tab fairly closely. The good news for effort is he's got 3 bases. They are pretty darn well saturated here too. I mean, just fantastic play. And he can handle a large number of vultures without really worrying about it, which is also very, very nice. Muta's trying to see if there's anything they can do. Maybe the natural base. Again, NaDa has not felt comfortable to take a 3rd base 10 minutes into this match, which cannot bode well for him. We have seen this go bad for players in the past on this map. Taking a late 3rd base against somebody who has 3 bases around the 7-minute mark. It's not good. It's not good at all. This one sunken is not doing a fantastic job picking off the vultures as they come in, as a couple drones die unnecessarily, but I guess that's more than sacrificing a drone permanently for additional sunken. I don't know. Static defense is not something that pro players are way into, although I say that in a game where NaDa has built literally like 20 missile turrets. So he likes static defense. He's totally fine with static defense, and maybe that's his problem. Maybe he could have a 3rd base if he didn't have literally 20 missile turrets up here. But boy, does it make you invulnerable to Mutalisk harass inside your main. Boy, does it ever. So here's going to be another game wherein a Zerg player tries to deal with a late-game meching Terran army. Queens have not done it in the past, that's for sure. What has done it in the past? I mean, honestly, just a lot of Lings and Ultralisks just going for it, keeping that tank count low, attacking from multiple directions, dropping on top of tanks with a lot of Zerglings. We've seen Larva win a game doing that. I don't think it was against the highest level Terran that we've ever seen. It wasn't against Flash or, you know, NaDa or anything. It was still pretty good, and he was able to do it without really much Dark Swarm or Plague or anything like that. The problem with the Dark Swarm is splash damage is unaffected. The splash damage section of a siege tank shot is unaffected, and as a result, there are a million tanks, and so anything in the Dark Swarm is going to have a hard time. All right, 140 to 127 supply. NaDa is up in overall supply right now. He's got science vessels, he's got vultures, he's got tanks. Hey, did you know on patreon.com/FalconPaladin you can get 1 extra Brood War cast per week? It's the truth before anyone else can see it. Just for as little as $1 a month. That's all it takes. Beautiful stuff. If you want me to cast your replays, you can also donate for $10 a month. There's other stuff in there too. My $5 a month level is actually, I don't know what to do with it for a while there as drop Hydralisks are coming in. I was going to do a Q&A thing, but my life is not interesting enough that people want a Q&A every month. Here we go. Mutalisks do get into the mineral line. Taking so much damage in the process, though. Hydra's dropping on everything. But all the mutas are dead. I think that was effort recognizing all of my Mutalisks are unnecessary at this point. So, wow, this is a bit of a supply block here, too. 117 out of 103 available for effort. The Hydras are in. They're not getting home, is the thing. Can they stand against... I think they could stand against these here Goliaths if they work together, but they're focusing down the science vessels, which is a huge pickup, by the way. Absolutely kill those science vessels. And this is just too many. And there's tanks in the mix there too. So yeah, the Goliaths do really well against ground targets, especially, you know, if they have +2 attack. As they do, the Hydralisks have +2 armor, so it's just like 0-0 versus 0-0. Which, again, if you're outnumbering the Hydras, you're going to be okay, especially if you have a little bit of tank support back there with +2 attack themselves. Queen's Nest on the way. 5 Mutalisks in production. 4th base coming up for effort, and the 3rd base is technically done for NaDa, and he is transferring over there now. So this is a 3rd base timing of about 15 minutes for NaDa. I don't know how I feel about this. Another Overlord dead. That's the problem with having scouting Overlords when there are Goliaths out on the map with Charon boosters, is your time is limited. I like the Overlord spread that effort is tossed up here, but it's not going to last forever. So make good use of it if you can. I cannot believe he's going back to Mutalisks after losing every single one of like the 15 that he had. The units lost tab in this game is going to be big, and a lot of it, I wish I could see exactly how many Mutalisks died. Because that is something I do get in StarCraft 2, is there's a units lost tab you can pull up at the end of the game to show you exactly how many of which type of unit died during the match. It's really nice. But here we go, more drop Hydralisk with Mutalisk supportive at first. You don't succeed, try again, says Effort. And once again, a combination of missile turrets, Irradiate, and Charon boosted attacks are just wrecking these Mutalisks. The Hydras are fighting in here. Mutalisks are irradiated some level. All of them are purple and pink. It's not a good color for them. Engineering Bay goes down. That means no more turrets for the Terran player. What an absolute bloodbath this engagement is right now. But again, it looks like we're just going to hold this off. NaDa's going to hold this thing off with a combination of Vultures and Goliaths. And it's going to be enough. Mutalisks do find some unattended tanks here in the middle of the map. They're going to pick those guys off. This is one way to win. I'm not kidding about this either. Just keep the tank count as low as you can. We saw either the Protoss player Light or the Terran player like playing as Protoss against Flash, and that's how he did it, man. He was just like, I'm going to attack all the time. From the 4-minute mark of the game, I'm going to attack into you, and yes, I'm going to lose stuff, but I'm going to keep your tank count low. Just kept it low and expanded a whole bunch and really did a lot of risky stuff in there, but ended up getting the win anyway. It was one of the most amazing PvTs I've ever seen. I think it got an epic tag, and I feel like it was deservedly given the epic tag. I want to be one of those channels where if you see an epic tag, you know it's actually epic. I don't just do it for everything. I think it works. I think people have generally agreed with my use of it, and sometimes I don't use it when the people want me to. So maybe that's a good sign too. This effort is like, you know what? I've lost about 37 Hydralisks doing this thing. Maybe we'll try it again. Nope, maybe not. Are those fake outs, actually? I'm realizing now. Ah! Those are fake out overlords. It faked me out, that's for sure. So trying to keep the army inside the main base while the Hydras and Mutalisks. Again, Hydra Muta, interesting composition here. Take down the third base of NaDa. NaDa is in an immense amount of trouble here. He cannot lose this third. Irradiating the Mutalisks, stacking up each other. They do get one of the tanks there, which helps immensely. If the Hydras are going to die anyway, and I think they are with the number of tanks that are here, focus down the command center, and they do end up getting it. And then just have high ground against the army that comes in to deal with you. Focus down as many SCVs as you can. Maybe deal with this fourth base up in the top right. Oh, yeah, you have the speed upgrade. You have the speed upgrade. This fourth base is in trouble, too. Dude, Effort is killing NaDa. Stop. He's already dead. I believe is the Simpsons quote applicable to the situation. There's a Simpsons quote applicable to every situation, I believe. Again, so many Mutalisks have died. It's kind of disgusting. As a Zerg main, it hurts me to see these Mutas die. And it makes me feel shame because I have lost Mutalisks in this very much this same way myself. All the Hydras are cleaned up. This Mutalisk is going to try to take down a tank by himself. He has no kills. What makes him think he can do it with no kills? Not that it matters. This is not one of those games where units, as they get more kills, get more skills and abilities and stuff. But man, Effort's macro is insane. Look how many Hydras he has again. He's been replacing his army after he's been losing them several times already today. Empty Overlords again going for the fake out up here, but I don't know there's an army to really take advantage of that anywhere else. It's just, you know, putting some fear of Zerg into NaDa at this stage, I suppose. Effort is going for Defilers, though. He recognizes that Defilers are an important part of any Zerg player's late game. Get your Defilers now in the Defiler mound. 4 Defilers at a time. Holy crap. Plague's on the way. Consume's already done. Saw that come through the production tab. And again, another command center dies. Dude, NaDa is on 2 base and really doesn't have a third. He just doesn't. I don't know how else to express this to you. He just doesn't have a third. His tanks at +3 attack and +2 armor, which is awesome. His upgrades are amazing. But the Hydras are on 2-2, which is fantastic. So I don't know. It's just that Hydras with even the coolish upgrades, even if they have better upgrades than tanks, the tanks just kind of wreck them in any number of tanks versus any number of Hydras, unless, you know, it's like a 6-to-1 number or maybe 5-to-1. What's the math on that? How many Hydras can take down a tank, assuming the Hydras are not microed like right up next to it, right? So maybe 3, 4. Something like that. It's just the power of the siege tanks is kind of multiplicative. Multiplicative? Is that a word? My brain thinks it's a word and says it's a word, but who knows? Multiplicative, where you have more tanks here. They can handle more than that 3-to-1 ratio of Hydras. Just the splash damage alone makes it totally worth it. These Defilers are kind of hard to see on this tile set. Maybe it's an advantage for effort. Can you choose your colors in games like this? I mean, if it was a custom game, yeah. Yikes. Or actually, no. Is that something you can do in Brood War? I did some custom games on the channel. By the way, I have been casting live Brood War replays sent, or not live. Brood War replays sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Brood War replays. I guess to distinguish it from the professional ones, maybe say like lobby Brood War, but do whatever you want. Been casting those on YouTube, youtube.com /FalconPaladin, which is where you are right now. Anyway, it's been pretty fun. I played a couple ladder games. I'm undefeated on ladder. No big deal. Irradiated Defiler goes down. All right, man. NaDa's like, okay, third base back. Fourth base back. Back in action right now. I'm sitting here at 161 supply. I've got +3 attack on my tanks. What you got for me, effort? A lot of Hydralisks, a lot of Defilers, chitinous plating coming up. Gammy, my metasynaptic node for Defiler energy. No sign of Queens, which is probably a good sign for you Zerg fans out there. Plague, catching a few of these vultures. And again, the Hydralisks go into range of the tanks, and this is what happens. They all die. Attacking up the right side with Hydralisks, and up the middle with some Zerglings. That doesn't go well for the Lings at all. Dark Swarm, Irradiate getting tossed down in the middle of all the chaos down there is such a great decision. I think it was on a Defiler, kind of hard to tell. But yeah, see the tank fire. It just means your Dark Swarm isn't as good as it otherwise would be against, say, for example, a Protoss player. But effort is just, he's taking most of the map, is the thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 7 bases at 21 minutes. No big deal. It turns out effort back in 2009 was in a macro god way back then, too. Should not question professional Korean players about how good they were a decade ago, because they probably came out of the womb being way better than I will ever be. Something in the water, I think. All right, tanks up here firing on this, I don't know, we'll call it the 6th base of effort on the right side. Are they actually hitting? Man, that science vessel providing some good range, and I think effort's going to sack this base. Tries to flank in against this line of siege tanks and then says no, just backs right out. 5th base hovering over here for NaDa. I mean, sure, effort is going to have the economic advantage to some extent. I got to say, overall in this game, he's probably going to have more money brought in than NaDa will, but if you're mech, the whole point is that you're cost efficient. Not really babysitting the science vessels well there, though. And the science vessels go down. The Hydras come into the 5th base and get absolutely wrecked. I don't think they kill much of anything here before they go down. Unfortunately, tank does take down the 6th hatchery on the right side. Sunken Colony coming up, which I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. Why is he just sending Lings to their deaths over here? It's very strange, is what it is. Look at this drone. He's like, you know what? We're good. Oh, man. The Lings do manage to take down one of the tanks, but that's enough to take out that replacement 6th base. Engagement over here at the 7th base on the left side of the map, coming on in with the Hydras and the Zerglings. Hydra Ling doing pretty well here against the tanks and the Goliaths. Obviously not as good against the Vultures, just because Vultures will chew up Zerglings and eat them for dinner. Ultralisks in production, 4 of them at a time. Spider Mine's the best tool that a Vulture has to kill a Hydralisk, as we saw there and as we've seen before. Hydras could probably come in here and take down that base if they wanted. They get picked up instead, because why walk anywhere? If Daddy Overlord will just give you a ride wherever you want to go. No, no, no. No, no, no. Combination of Spider Mines and Missile Turrets wipe that drop out. Not that it was much of a drop. Let's be honest with ourselves. The tank on the high ground is actually protecting this base fairly well. Defiler, do something with your energy before you die. Doesn't do it. Doesn't get a Plague Off. Doesn't get a Dark Swarm. I know this is very APM intensive right now for effort. He's everywhere at once. He's producing off of eggs out of all of his hatcheries all at the same time. But man, if there's a Defiler that's been irradiated, you really absolutely have to get it to do something with that energy before it goes down. Anything. A Plague on one unit is better than nothing at all. But the Lings on the Ultras are here. That's right. 6 Carapace Ultralisks are present. Not really worried about your single tank fire, as it turns out. +3 attack 2. A lot of SCVs going down. Major victory there for effort. 161 and 135 overall supply. Missile turrets going down. Any damage you can find is going to be good damage. I like this one long distance mining drone over here at the 6th base of effort. He's just like, you know what? I'm just out of range of tank fire. I'm going to be protected by this one sunken colony. That's cool. I'm just going to go ahead and bring that back to the hatchery down here. How's that sound? Oh, it's 2 actually. There's 2 long distance mining drones here, which is hilarious. This Ultra ends up getting 4 kills and really hasn't taken much damage. Makes it back to the safety of the 7th. That is so many Ultralisks. I don't even... How many is that, Falcon? Well, it's 12 at least. There might be another one hiding in there. No, I think that covers it. 12... Maybe this one? Maybe that one wasn't included in the circle. Either way, another one comes in. It's more than 12 Ultralisks. I'm having, like, Zerg nerd chills right now. That is so many Ultras, and yet we've seen so many Ultras fall to tanks in situations just like this one. Ultralisk on the high ground says, "Get out of my house." Wow, that's a lot of tank fire. This is what I'm worried about. It brings flashbacks every time to little 17-year-old me playing against my friends. StarCraft Brood War, we're playing Hunters or something, and I try to go after my friend's base with this many Ultralisk, and he just has tank after tank after tank after tank set up in the choke, and all my Ultras die. So these Ultras doing fairly well for themselves, getting on top of these tanks. There were not that many on the right side. Left side is covered. Right side, no. And suddenly, NaDa is losing supply depots and missile turrets and everything at his 3rd base. It is a massacre with these Ultras getting on top of these SCVs. One running up to the 4th. Try to shut that one down too. And these Ultras, I think they would do well to leave, honestly. This Ultralisk is trying... There you go. The pathing was dumb for a minute. He's got 2 kills. He wants more. He does. Does he 3-shot SCVs? Oh, the Ultras go for it. Dark Swarm is here, but... remember, we talked about this. I mean, if it's one Ultra, I guess, you know what, it works out. Oh, there's the splash. All right, so, yeah, it would have been better, I think, in the long run. Wow, you're trading for tanks, though. I don't know, man. NaDa coming up into the 7th base. Are there tanks around? Some tanks around here. The Ultralisk has shut down everything up here at the 4th base. He's still only got 4 kills. Come on, man. You can be better than that. Bit of an engagement here in the middle of the map. Zerglings will get cleaned up here by the Goliaths and the tanks. These Lings, too, running into spider mines and just getting destroyed. I feel like effort has the economy lead. He's mined more, but by golly, his lost units is going to be through the roof already. We're only 27 minutes into this thing. We have some more time to go. As you can probably guess. We're just stalemating it right now is what it is. 6th base coming, rehatching for effort. That Vulture has 6 kills. He is a sergeant. Well done, Sergeant Vulture. So no mining at the 6th base. That's a problem for effort. I mean, he is not mining out super quickly, but we're getting there. He's had this 3rd base for a while. Yeah, man. Maybe 1,000, 1,500 more minerals over there than it's done. He mined out his bottom left-hand base. Maybe too early. Some players do like to kind of leave that as a safe place to expand if you can't expand anywhere else. But 7th base back, that's a major, major victory for effort there. He needs this income, especially if he's going to lose his 6th, which he hasn't so far. Defensive matrix up, Lings, Ultras, Hydras getting on top of the tanks and the Vultures. Another Dark Swarm goes down. Ultralisks just not following their training. That guy gets murdered just outside of the Dark Swarm. Stay inside the Dark Swarm and everything will be okay, said Papa Defiler. And some Ultras were good little Ultras, and they paid attention and stayed in the Dark Swarm, but some were naughty Ultralisks and left the Dark Swarm and got blown up by siege tanks. It's a cautionary tale. Very interesting morals, too, for Zerg. All right, man. Trying to set up, take down this 6th base again while in range of a sunken. I like the 2 tanks firing on 1 Zergling coming down a ramp. That Zergling did not get down that ramp, can tell you that much. Yeah, that Ultra's dead. The sunken is probably dead here too. Ultra's getting on top of the tanks, but there's just too much DPS here. Out of NaDa, it's just not working. It's not working at all. Sunken Colony does get taken down. Tank is firing directly on the hatchery now. Zerglings say, we've done this trick before. We've come down this ramp before, but these tanks are scary. Ooh, is that an Ultra drop? That might have been, or some Ling drops. Hard to tell what was in that Overlord, because as soon as it unloaded, it died. But still, trying to break this siege. Spider Mines do so much damage. Mutalisks! Zerglings finish off a tank. That is a nice pickup there for effort 2. Good heavens to Betsy. What an absolute bloodbath has been on the right side of the map. And now the tank, new tank, re-sieging. And getting some shots off, taking down that sunken colony here at the 7th base. More Hydras. What an absolute scrap fest this is. Scrappity scrap fest. Left side attacks, right side attacks. Spider-Mine's good against both the Lings and the Ultras, it turns out. This Irradiate will wound the Ultralisk, cannot kill it straight up, but in combination with other damage it will take, it will greatly shorten its lifespan, as we see there. Trying to get up. Oh, Defiler picked off by Vultures, as again, it left its own Dark Swarm. Pop a Defiler. Not heeding his own advice there. I can't even tell what's going on both sides of the map right now. It's pretty much left, right, left, right, left, right. I guess I should be grateful there aren't drops that I have to pay attention to, too, because, man. I mean, there's a reason professional StarCraft casting has an observer, as well as usually 2 people commentating. I'm doing the solo match right now. All 3 of those jobs are mine, and by golly, it's rough sometimes, as y'all may have noticed. This is like the 3700th Ultralisk to die in this match. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but man, it's a lot of Ultras who have died. Zerglings getting into... Oh, remember that tank fire from up above? Yeah, that's why. I guess that refinery is not necessarily being protected by anything, but once again, the 6th base being overrun by mech here. A lot of drones going down. You can hear their death sounds. Is he trying to drop? He drops a single Ling on the high ground. 2 Lings on the high ground, and they pick off that tank, and now this base is in trouble. Although there are some Spider Mines getting laid down. Tank fire and Spider Mines mean that Zergling is dead. Hatchery taking some shots. More Lings, more Ultras coming down that ramp. They know it's not smart. They know it's a rough situation. They know they'll probably die. But you know what? This time around, this time is different, except that there are huge amounts of Spider Mines exploding on everything. But once again, this right side 5th base by NaDa does get taken down by Lings and Ultras. That's some income that could be going towards more tanks and stuff. Once again, though, not much. Not much. Mind out, mind out, mind out, mind out. 3 base in here for effort. NaDa happily mining from 2 bases, which again would be a problem, but he's meching it, so he's okay. And even if he was going bio, he might honestly be just fine here against effort. Defensive Matrix on a tank to allow it to survive a little bit longer here. But with multiple Ultralisks chomping on you, you will die eventually. It doesn't give you invulnerability, that's for sure. Once again, these poor Overlords sacrificing their lives to get a single Zergling into the main base of NaDa. It always makes me sad, but I don't know. They're life for the swarm, right? Live for the swarm. Hey, Vulture's getting into the 6th base again, killing more drones. 85 to 87 supply. It is incredibly even right now. Both players have lost so many workers and bases. There are a ton of Spider Mines down here by this here 7th base. Vulture's focusing down on the drones a little bit. Taking care of the Lings themselves, though. Dark Swarm protecting the drones against the Vulture attacks. That's a pretty nice defensive setup there. And the Vultures maybe could come down. There's not much to do here either, though. I guess this isn't technically mined out. Technically, there are 32 minerals at this base, which not a big number at all. I love this Ursidon wandering about inside all of these Spider Mines. I like how critters don't trigger Spider Mines. Are they like floating? Is that what it is? I guess maybe they are only set to explode on enemy units that don't float, don't hover. Yeah, Scourge are just having a bad time today. They've gotten some decent hits off, but overall, it just seems like anywhere they go, there's a Goliath ready and willing to shoot them out of the sky. Spider-Mine finishing off that Ultralisk. Bam! Another Spider-Mine shot. This has just been... These two locations on the map, left side and right side, have been absolute bloodbaths. Site of incredible carnage for both these players. Efforts up 91 to 77 at this point for some reason. He's making 9 Mutalisks. He's recognizing, you know what? There aren't actually all that many Goliaths on the field. Also, the missile turret count is not as high as it used to be. This year's Zergling is having a grand old time with 3 kills, trying to kill every supply depot in the game by himself, which, hey, not bad stuff. Where are my Mutalisks? Here they are. Here come my Mutalisks. They are ready to rock. Where's the one Goliath that was over here? I see him. I see the one Goliath that's over here. Nice tech switch. 5 Goliaths at a time in production. NaDa recognizing, oh, snap. I don't have enough Goliaths for this. Actually, 4 Goliaths. Maybe enough? Well, especially if you're not being attacked back. The Mutalisks are not actually interested in killing the Goliaths. They're going after tanks instead. Even while they're being directly shot in the face. I'm not sure how I feel about this effort. You could probably kill those Goliaths, but instead you wanted to kill 4 or 5 tanks, and you did, yes. Congratulations, but guess who's got more tanks where those came from? NaDa. NaDa has more tanks where those came from. Maybe he's trying to force an overproduction of Goliaths. Is this Zergling still... How has NaDa not dealt with this dude? He's killed 3 supply depots. And an SCV, because he has 4 kills now. Yeah, more Scourge, just absolutely doing nothing. You imagine playing 36 minutes of StarCraft at 387 APM if you're NaDa? That's insane. That's really stupid. Alright, Mutalisks are just going to their deaths here. Effort just absolutely has no regard for Mutalisk life. He has lost so many Mutalisks in this game. Maybe not as many as the Ultralisks that have died, but the Ultras are kind of what he needs to do anyway. Is NaDa done with gas? Okay, so he's retaking his refinery. He has 3 gas right now, which means he is mining from an expired refinery somewhere. That still gives some amount of resources. Even though it says depleted, you can still mine from it to get like 2 per trip. Let's see what this is. 9. Yep, 2 gas per trip. We might just mine this map out, ladies and gentlemen. Have we seen this map mined out before? I'm not sure that we have. Mutalisks. Again, just so much blue. Look at him trying to take down these tanks. You can, but they have 3 armor. Jeez, that's brutal stuff. I think NaDa might have it, you guys. I don't want to call it early, but... Another Defiler gets picked off just after casting a 1 Dark Swarm, I guess. Where's this dude? Where's my hero Zergling? No! No, my hero Zergling. I loved him. He's dead now. He killed how many supply? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, killed like 6 or 7 supply depots by himself. NaDa's down to 100 available supply. That Zergling made an effort in the war campaign. Really did. Zerglings for effort. Really all he can afford at this stage. He's clearing out mines with Zerglings, which is not ideal, but it did get him on top of this tank. Oh, just kidding. There was a tank covering this guy, because that's how they work. They're buddies. These tanks are. Yeah, this source of income, I think, is really important for effort. Left side. Right side is happily mining. But it's a 1 base. How much is in this refinery? 3,000 gas in that refinery. That is a godsend for NaDa. He needs it. He really does. Defilers. There's your Dark Swarm, but Spider-Mines don't care about your Dark Swarm. Look at the Ultras going down here despite being protected by Dark Swarm quite nicely. And just too many tanks. Just too many tanks. And their effort is down to 38 total supply. NaDa suddenly at 66. He's doubling up. The hatchery is down. 1 income of 1 base of income for effort getting scanned. NaDa knows it's there. The question is, do you want to take this base for your own, or do you want to try to go kill that right side base? Good number of resources here. It's not crazy. It's not teeming with resources, but about 2,300 gas in the mix too. And if you're meching, gas is delicious to you. You need a lot of gas. Yeah, man, I think NaDa's got it. I've seen efforts attempt to use these Ultralisks and Lings that he's producing. It's just not enough. Too many Spider Mines, too many tanks, too many Goliaths. And I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think once again, we're going to see the power of Terran mech versus Zerg. I don't know what the answer is for Zerg. We saw Mutalisks tried. No. Goliaths with Charon boosters are amazing. We saw Dark Swarm used with Ultras and Lings. No. We saw Dark Swarm used with Hydralisks and Mutalisks. No. Just everything on the ground gets absolutely destroyed by these 3/3 tanks. 2/3, rather. I apologize. I was incorrect. There's only 2 armor on these tanks. And then everything in the sky can be handled with, honestly, with Goliaths. All right, effort. Here we go. Oh, another nice Dark Swarm. Actually, these tanks are going to get wiped out for... Okay, fine. All of the Ultralisks died. That's a problem. And all the Lings are dead, too, because Spider-Mine, good unit. Holy crap, Spider-Mine is a good unit. So this Dark Swarm is here, accomplishing absolutely nothing for anybody. Overlords with Zerglings trying to get on top of the unload. No, it doesn't really unload many Zerglings at all. And then unloads them on the edge of the Dark Swarm where they're not protected. The edges of the Dark Swarm are actually not protecting. There is more of a middle here you need to be in to benefit from that spell. Yeah, at this stage, Spider-Mines are totally your friend right now. Just throw them down everywhere. Is that a Ling drop? More Ling drop attempted? Yeah, more Ling drops attempted. But the Spider-Mines, they don't benefit from upgrades, right? Just 125 regular straight up damage that ignores armor. I guess this base is technically alive too. 600 gas over there. So no, the map isn't mined out. I don't see it getting mined out anytime too soon either. I mean, more attempts. Lings and Ultras dropping on top of these units. And dropping on top means you get some good stuff done without having to run into the tank fire and take some shots before you actually get there. But once again, the Spider-Mine's doing the lion's share of the work there. Be interesting if Defilers could consume SCVs. He's consuming Overlords in a desperate position right now to stay alive. But the Overlords are getting killed, so there are fewer consumed targets. And Ultra does get in here on top of that tank. And he does finish it off there, taking some tank fire from the low ground. But suddenly, NaDa is going to lose all these SCVs, and the base is going to go back to effort. No way. What an absolute comeback here for effort. Not that he's won this thing. I don't know who wins this thing. I don't watch them in advance. I don't have time for that. Don't go down the ramp. Don't go. He wants to get that tank. He knows. Is that the last tank? No, there's a couple over here. But this is largely a Vulture Goliath army right now. Where did this command center go? Did he? Oh, he landed it over here. Oh, he's long distance mining from it right now. But Effort doesn't have anything. He's got 28 total supply, most of them which are drones over here. Handful of Zerglings. He's got empty Overlords with which to maybe intimidate the Terran player, but God, he had it. He had it for a minute, but not enough. 6 Mutalisks in production. If 6 Mutalisks can take down 3 Goliaths with 3/2 upgrades, then maybe Effort can win this thing. I can't. This is intense. This is a really, really intense situation right now. This income has been absolutely everything Effort has needed. They've been trading back and forth on this left side base for like the last 15 minutes, it feels like, which is so much time. 7 Mutalisks, 7 Mutas versus 3 Goliaths. Plus 3 armor on the Mutas. Do attack upgrades not matter? They must not. Or Effort would have them, right? He would have them. He's thinking about going in. He's thinking about going in. Here we go. Here's our battle. The Goliaths are getting picked off, trying to repair them. And no, but they're alive nevertheless. One gets picked off. The other one ends up going down. There are 4 Goliaths in production, but they're not here yet. And NaDa might end up losing a ton of these SCVs. Spider-Mine's getting dragged into the SCV line. Boom! Friendly fire damage there. Meanwhile, NaDa managed to get some vultures into the one source of income for effort along the right side of the map right now. Mutas are heading over to try to shut that stuff down. It's 35 to 36 total supply. Lings are trying to fight. Sunken Colony is trying to fight. Does chase the vultures away before the Mutalisks show up. They're running for their lives. The Mutalisks want to kill them. How many SCVs even remain here for NaDa? Is it 3? Is it possibly 2 right now? There is one up here that's hiding. There are a bunch of Goliaths on the ground right now. 4 of them. To be exact, the Muta count is sitting happily at 9. And this command center is going to die. That's not the last command center for NaDa. But it's dead close. Is that that's the one? I think we're looking right now at the last command center for NaDa. Oh, late game tech switch into Muta for effort. Is it paying off, guys? Is it paying off, ladies and gentlemen? Mutalisks. Once again, drone massacre here, though. It is down. Is that the final drone for effort? It is, but he has 692 minerals in the bank where NaDa has 93. I mean, might as well kill spider mines at this stage. He can afford to rebuild a hatchery over here, too, if he wants to, but he's being really cautious. NaDa, the Mutas should not engage with this. They should really not engage with those Goliaths unless they have to. Taking shots is bad, but again, Zerg units regenerate over time, so you can get that energy back. Or that HP back, rather. Man, I'm sorry, I kind of maybe got a little bit too excited there. Throat, a little scratchy. Ooh, it's 9 Hydralisks on the way. That's the thing. Effort still had a bit of a bank after all was said and done there, and NaDa doesn't. NaDa has what he has. Effort was able to supplement his army with 9 Hydralisks, which is why the Mutas were picking off the spider mines. If he can pick off spider mines from place to place, he's going to be able to use the Hydralisk DPS versus the Goliath. There are still 2 tanks here. Oh, SCVs picked off. No, it survived. No. 3 HP on that dude. He's alive. Mutalisks, fairly healthy. One of them is pretty injured. You don't want to lose anything at this stage of the game. You don't want to lose any units at all. NaDa spent his last 80-something minerals here making a Goliath. And I think that might, I mean, I know I've called it a couple times here, but I think effort has done it. He still technically has income. He has the ability to expand. He's going to have the resources to do so in just a minute here. Whereas NaDa does not. NaDa's army, where is it? He's here. He's positioned. Whereas the Hydras are way over here on this side of the map. Oh, man. If they get in here, the Sunken is a huge problem, though. The tanks are going to be good against that Sunken. Oh, by the way, thanks to KD for sending this in. Dude emailed it to me. He's like, I'm not sure if this will work in the remastered client. It has worked like a charm. He actually checked it out for me before he sent it in, so I appreciate that. Ah! Ah! No, 1 Muta goes down. 8 remaining. Free Mutalisk. That's what that is. The Hydras are like, run. We have to get over there. We are fully upgraded Hydralisks. There are only 2 tanks. But again, Goliath, we've seen they've been pretty good here. Keeping his units close together is NaDa. There's effort. He's making an Ultralisk. Effort, instead of expanding, is making an Ultralisk. What was that? Something died over there unnecessarily. 1 Ultralisk. Oh, unsiege the tanks. It's time to go. Brings it in, focuses down the tanks. The Hydras are going to deal with the remaining Goliaths. Just tacking on in, chasing, trying to stutter step as best he can. Here is NaDa, but it's 33 to 11 supply. The Goliaths are falling in. GG! Calls NaDa. And effort is your winner in 49 minutes and 7 seconds. I don't even... That... That might have been one of the greatest ZVTs I have ever cast. I've been getting a lot of comments recently from people saying, where are my Zerg wins? Where are my late game Zerg wins against Terrans especially? And here it is. Here's one. Effort. Taken down NaDa in an absolutely outstanding epic game. This is getting an epic tag. When at the end of the match, it's 49 minutes in, and there are 29 units, 29 supply worth of units left for the winning player. Come on. That's an epic tag. I mean, still had income here. If these were dead and Effort couldn't make any more, it'd be a little bit more intense, I think. A little bit more suspenseful, but by golly, what an absolutely fantastic final last stand there. Is that just a dead Goliath that I can't even select? Because he's dead? Because he's getting hit by, well, a combination of Hydralisks and Mutalisks. So green stuff. Green stuff for sure. Wow. Wow. I mean, it's after midnight here. I was like, I'll cast one more game before I'll go to bed. And I saw it was 49 minutes, and I was like, do I have 49 minutes of StarCraft left in me? And I do. And I did. And it was absolutely a blast. That was incredible to cast. The tech switches. The tech switches are what won it here for Effort. I still think back over here when he had those, I want to say 9 or 10 mutas. And he was focusing down the tanks instead of going after the Goliaths. I kind of feel like he could have killed the Goliaths, but he probably knows more than I do. He probably was doing what he needed to do, keep that tank count as low as possible, because when it came down to it, when there were only 2 tanks remaining, that was huge. The Ultras didn't even really have to get involved. NaDa unsieged his tanks. Effort saw his chance, blitzed on in there. How many mutas did he lose? All but 3. All but 3 of the 10 that he had. And the Hydras were pretty much untouched because they're real scary. They will trade very well against these poor Goliaths. Doing their best. Man, both players giving it their all here. Great match. Final score time is going to be fun. Total score 342,000 to 340,000. NaDa actually wins. He wins in total score, but loses the match somehow. APM 350 for NaDa, 337 on average for Effort in that match. 937 Zerg units killed by NaDa. 1,057 produced by Effort. So what I'm talking about here, 1,000 units produced by the Zerg player is always impressive. Structures down, 77 structures raised by Effort. That's a lot of missile turrets, a lot of supply depots, a lot of command centers. I don't know that he killed many production facilities necessarily, but those ones definitely fell. 21 Zerg structures raised is nothing to scoff at either. Because, I mean, overlords don't count as structures, supply depots and pylons do. It's a kind of a weird setup, but yeah, that's hatcheries. That's sunkens. That's basically hatchery, sunkens, extractors. That's pretty much all you're able to kill anyway. At least in this match. And then, yeah, Effort. 29,000 gas mine to 17,000 for NaDa. 69,000 minerals mined to 53,000 for NaDa. And 98,000 total spent to 70,000 spent for NaDa. The cost efficiency for NaDa is insane. Usually, if we see this kind of a disparity, the Zerg player or whoever has the more spent, like this much more spent, 28,500 more spent. That player just wins. That is so many more units, but the spider mines were cost efficient. The tanks were cost efficient. The Goliaths were cost efficient against the mutas for most of the match. And sure, NaDa wasn't able to get the income that he wanted, and Effort definitely was, but man, a lot of stuff died. Again, back to this units tab. 937 units killed. How many of those are Ultras? How many of those are Hydralisks and Zerglings and Defilers and drones at the end of the match? I think Effort was down to 2 drones. That's a lot of dead drones. All right. Well, boy, I might be too amped to go to bed. But that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered, and an epic match indeed. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.